Benching 3 days a week will make you strong, but it will beat you up. And it's not viable in the long term. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. And I'm making this video now at the age of 48. I am 48 years old. You guys can see me here just doing work sets. I can do reps with 315 on the bench. Pretty strong guy. I do rep work with 550 on the deadlift. I move some respectable weights for a guy my age, but I think what I want to emphasize here, I don't hurt, okay? I do this stuff with no shoulder pain, no elbow pain, right? I don't have back pain. I don't have these problems. And so, let's just talk even with just benching, right? We see this all the time, and this is not my best recent set. This was actually a bit of an off day, so that shouldn't have even been a 3-rep max, but strength fluctuates a little. I know I've done that for multiple work sets. I've done a little heavier for triples and stuff. But here's the thing, guys. And this is something I've done even as a coach for my powerlifters and stuff who bench over 400. We don't come in and do a bunch of benching. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. And when you see this, people are like, but this IPF guy, this guy did it, this guy did it. They all bench 3 days a week, 4 days a week, all this stuff. Okay? Yet how many of them are still benching anything at my age? And I'm not going to name names and insult certain people who've even been influencers here, who were putting out a lot of content 10 years ago, really strong power lifters and strength programs with a lot of this high frequency, high specificity stuff, who they're still younger than me and they can't bench 315 now. I want you to let that sink in for a moment. We have guys who are skilled power lifters who are too beat up by the time they're 40 to bench press 315. All right? This is a problem. Who promoted this sort of training? It's like Louis Simmons said all the time, all this linear periodization, the way that people ran it, not that it doesn't work, it's that it breaks you. Heard Matt Winning point out the same thing. It breaks you. You get broken on the wheel. Not saying it doesn't work. It's the sort of training that makes you a champion in 5 or 6 years and then you're done. Whereas in what I advocate these days for people, we don't need any of this. You don't have to do all this. It's not necessary. You can bodybuild your way to bigger lifts. That's why I do power building and stuff these days, why I focus more on physique. Right? How do I build on my bench? You see me doing all that incline work. Incline barbell, incline dumbbells, pullovers, lots of triceps. A lot of shoulder work. I do front raises, all this stuff, right? Right? Why? Because it works and it builds the muscles. And it builds the muscles to have stability. Okay, and people need to grasp that. Yeah, you can push neural drive heavy, high specificity to where it's all technique and all neural drive. You can do that and you'll get strong. But we get overuse injuries. Especially beating the heavy movements over and over. Dudes, you're over here benching, again. Guys barely benching 315 talking about their shoulders and elbows are beat up. Come on. Really? You think there's a problem with this? Whereas if you just do the stuff this way and we come in and build muscle and build tendon, build support musculature. And again, Louis Simmons tried to tell you guys this, didn't he? He's just like, look, we do max effort twice a week. 1 heavy lift. Maybe 3 total reps ramping up on singles. For your upper body and 1 for your lower body. We don't need to come in and just beat everything heavy. We don't need to just bench. You come in and do all this other work. Right? You do all this other work, and it works. And a lot of his was geared for a quit, but I would say the same thing. Look, you don't have to come and do tough day. You can do 2 or 3 sets of heavy bench once a week and walk away. You know what'll build that bench up? Do a bunch of incline work, do some overhead work. Build your pecs, build your triceps, build your shoulders, build your upper back, pull-ups, rows. Okay, build the support musculature, because here's what happens. The primary movers, if you make your pecs and triceps and shoulders bigger, your bench will go up. You'll have a better force production potential because a bigger muscle can produce more force. This is a scientific fact. That part is not subject to debate. Okay? But when you're doing it that way instead of purely through neural drive, what happens? We don't beat our joints up the same. Well, how about all the stability, right? So if you build all the support musculature, right? Your biceps, your upper back, your rear delts, all these muscles that stabilize everything. Also what happens? Your joints are protected better. Build your elbow tendons up. Build the triceps, the muscle around there, or build everything up so that we have stabilization. The joints are stable. So not only are we doing less heavy work, when we do the heavy work, what are we doing? We're stabilized better. So we're doing way less of it, way less overuse because you're not repeating the same heavy lifts just for week, day after day, week after week, right? It's based on we're only doing that lift once a week for a few sets. Okay, the overuse goes down for that movement pattern. And if you're coming in just doing all this, like look at all this other stuff. It's like, man, I'm over here doing incline work, dumbbell inclines, front raises, all this stuff for 10, 12 reps. Isn't it building all those bench muscles, right? So if you see me doing sets of 10 or 12 on a front raise to failure, so you can see you doing incline dumbbell presses, coming and doing tons of extensions. Isn't it building those same muscles? Of course it is. But it's doing so in a manner that's easier on the joints. We can just bodybuild our way up to it. You know, and that's what you have to think about. You're going to last longer. You're not going to get the same injuries, and you're going to be just as strong. It might take a little longer, though, because you're not driving off pure neural drive. You're having to build all that tissue, but you're not going to hurt. You're not going to get injured as easy. Everything's going to be stable. And here's the other thing. You're going to look better. Right? You're going to look a lot better because you're going to be jacked. You're going to actually look like you lift. You should be training your shoulders and your arms, guys. You can't just come in and bench. You're not going to look like you lift. But if you do all this, you're going to look a lot better. You're going to look like jacked. You're going to be jacked. And you're going to be strong. And it's not going to beat you up. All right. And that is a key point here. All right, guys. But that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. And I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.